My name's Matt, and this is Keith, and welcome to
MMMK Podcast.
There you go. Look at you. Okay, Keith. Today we're talking about
Cars.
I
should say vehicles.
What do you think? Do I look authentically NASCAR?
I mean, I think the hat looks a little small.
It's okay. It's to show off my physique of my skull. We're talking about Cars. Cars is a 2006 American animated sports comedy film produced by Pixar Animation Studios for Walt Disney Pictures. The film was directed by John Lasseter, co-directed by Joe Ranft, produced by Darla K. Anderson, written by Lasseter, Ranft, Dan Fogelman, Keel Murray, Phil Lauren, and Jorgen Klubian, based on a story by Lasseter, Ranft, and Klubian.
I hope you said all those names correctly.
Have you seen Cars?
I've seen lots of Cars.
Have you seen the 2006 American animated sports comedy film? I
have 4 kids.
When
of course I've seen Cars.
Said we were going to talk about Cars, I've had that joke ready for so long. I've been so ready to give that
rolling.
joke.
It's so funny.
What was your first car?
First car, I bought a 79 Ford LTD for $500.
Oh, what did the LTD stand for?
Lord, if I know.
No. Lord, they don't. No. LTDK.
Yeah, I don't know what. I never had that question in my mind.
Would you say that you don't know anything about cars then?
Yep.
There we go.
It's still more than Matt.
What did you think of your car? Did you like it?
I mean, it was fine. AC worked.
There we go.
And
For a wait, how old were you when you got this car?
I would have been 17.
Okay.
I was 17.
Were you like the driver of your friend group, or were you like the passenger? What?
Friend group? That's funny.
Were you the person that would drive people places, or would you?
No.
Okay, you'd be the rider.
Yeah.
Okay.
Typically, I was the walker. And all my friends would pass me as I walked to school.
That's why you have good calves, though.
I loved high school.
The energy sort of went down a little bit.
Sometimes my English teacher who lived across the street would give me a ride.
So you were the passenger. Okay, got it. In high school, I got hit by a car. I've never told you this story, have I?
Nope.
Okay, so me and my friends, Abigail was there. Me and my friends, we were walking from the school. There was like this little crosswalk. We were walking across, and the parking lot was right there. It was probably like 10 feet or so. And this car was speeding. They slam on their brakes. The car taps into me and my friend Casey. So I know when you say got hit by a car, you're thinking, oh, crazy. But I will say I got hit by a car because the car was moving and it moved into me.
You put on their brakes too early. Should have gotten some sort of payout, like insurance.
Oh, really? That's why they put on their brakes too early?
No, I'm saying
not to wipe me out.
They put them on too early. They should have waited till they felt a bump. What was your first car?
My first car, I think, was a Cavalier, because I always say a Pontiac Grand Am, but that was my second car. But a Cavalier, and it was white. And
what make is a Cavalier?
I mean, I know the answer, but do you know the answer? I do know the answer. What? Okay, ready? Okay, we're going to count to 3 and then we're going to say it at the same time.
Okay.
1, two. What? Oh, you're not going to say it, are you? You're not going to say it. Okay. 1, 2, 3. See, you weren't going to say it. I knew it. I knew you weren't going to say it.
What were you going to say?
I'm not going to tell you because you're going to copy my answer. Chevrolet.
Yes.
Oh, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
Barely.
I knew it. No, I knew it.
Yeah.
And you wanted me to say my answer so you could cheat off of me.
You were so confident.
So I had a Chevrolet Cavalier.
I mean, you can just say Chevy.
No,
That's what most people say.
that's not what us car professionals say. We don't say Chevy. We say Chevrolet.
We say
Chevrolet. You have a little on the end. Chevrolet. So it was a Cavalier, and I thought it was really cool because it had like a digital speedometer. Very cool, very high tech. I'm gonna say I was ahead of the curve because cars now have digital speedometers. So,
what year of Chevy Cavalier did you have?
The best year.
You don't know.
You should know what the year it was if I say what is the best year of a Cavalier. 1987. You don't know. Really? What's the best year of a Chevy Cavalier? Yeah.
Is that what year you had as an 87?
Yes.
Is that what it looked like?
Yes. It was white. Type in white. Yes. Yes.
I liked my car better.
My car was high tech. You want to know a fun fact? I just guessed on the year.
I figured you did.
But I would say I'm probably a pretty good guesser because that is the car. That white one really is the car. Keith.
When did you get your license? Like, how old were you?
I failed the first time I took my what? That's fine. It's okay to not be perfect all the time. I failed the first time I took my driver's test, and then I took it a second time, and I passed.
What made you fail?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
I do not remember. I think it was like those little like small things like, oh, what?
When was the first time you actually got to drive a vehicle though? Like, did you ever get to drive before you had like your permit or anything?
Oh, I remember like as a kid, I think I was maybe like 14, 15. And with where my grandparents lived, they lived on this like, I mean, you know where they live. They like have this like little street.
It's like a dead end street.
Yes. So there was like a couple of times where I did that. That was the only time. And then, yeah, I got my permit and I had my permit for like 6 months. And then I took my driver's test. I was like a little after 16 whenever I took my driver's test. And then I can't remember when you get to take it again.
6 months later.
6 months later? That does not sound right.
Well, when I was.
So if you failed your driver's test the first time, are you sure after you get your permit, you have to have your permit for 6 months before you can take your driver's test? You had to have your
3 months.
You had to have your permit for, I think it was like 6 months. And then you would take your, no, I failed my permit test.
The written test.
That was what I did. So I did. Yeah. So your little nasty looks were all for nothing.
Still.
Are you a good driver?
I think so.
What equates to be a good driver?
Ooh.
You're like, I'm trying to think of phrases that don't apply to my driving.
Now, I mean, I think that knowing traffic laws for one, and then just being a safe driver, and a considerate driver.
So knowing traffic laws, being a safe driver, and like considering the environment around you.
And like doing certain things correctly.
Certain things. Like what are things you don't have to do correctly?
Speed limit. It's a suggestion.
Anything else you don't have to do correctly?
I feel like if you're in a turn lane, the turn signal is irrelevant. If you're like in a left turn lane or a turn only, like there's no point in having your turn signal on.
Oh, got it. I thought you meant like the light telling you when you can turn. I'm like, what do you mean?
So I'm like, you see me in this left turn lane, you know I'm turning left.
That's fair. What makes a bad driver?
The opposite of those things.
What are things that you do?
I think driving under the speed limit makes you a bad driver.
What are things that you do that are bad driving habits?
Hands off the steering wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not too safe.
That's all?
Mm-hmm. That's about it.
What are things that I do that you think make me a good driver?
I feel like you're a very cautious driver.
That sounds like a backhanded compliment if I've ever heard one.
I think you drive just fine.
I put that topic on there and I was like, why am I doing this? It's going to get us arguing.
That's why if we're riding together that I like to drive. I feel like you drive too slow.
I drive a little bit above the speed limit sometimes.
A half mile per hour. That's what I said. You're very cautious. But you drive just fine. It's just personal preference.
I don't think that's... I would probably say law. Not personal preference.
That's fine.
It's personal preference.
It's the personal preference that I don't like the way you drive. That's what I'm saying.
My personal preference is that you're not alive, so I'm just going to murder you. Is that how that works, Keith?
Yes.
You like personal preference over life?
Oh, God.
I knew when I said that you were going to be so annoyed. Car things.
Yeah, let's move on to car things.
I don't know what this means, but I was like, oh, car things. Like... Do you like using your horn?
No. I mean, I don't use it very often.
I hate using my horn. One time someone not backed into me, but like reversed into me because I was too anxious to use my horn.
I mean,
stressing me out.
Now, if someone honks at me for something stupid, I will lay on my horn right back for a long time.
Do you have road rage?
A tiny bit. But I'm better when there's someone else in the car. It's when I'm alone that I just let all my frustration out. But it's usually in the form of like just screaming and the windows are up. So I don't take it out on anybody.
Speaking of which,
I'm a safe road rager.
Speaking of which, I've actually secretly recorded you. What would you do if I set up a camera?
It'd be pretty funny. Because I think a lot of people would be shocked.
I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked. I would be.
Because most people are like, oh, Keith is such a nice guy.
You are a nice guy.
Oof, not when I'm driving by myself.
I know. There's some times where you just get impatient.
It's more than
you could use a little bit more patience. The world could use a little bit more patience.
So what kind of like other car things? Like, do you know how to change your oil?
Yes. Wait, change my oil or put oil into the car?
Change like your oil, like drain it, change the filter.
I can figure out how.
But you've never done it.
No.
What about rotated your tires?
Like, do I know how to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Have you done it?
No, but you are just taking off your tires and rotating them around.
In what direction?
Well, the ones that are on the back, you'd want to put them on the front, and the ones on the front, you'd want to put them on the back, right?
Sort of. That's half right.
I mean...
And you like alternate, like flip sides.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm impressed, actually.
Thank you. Really? Are you really?
I thought you were going to be like, just rotate them.
Okay, ask me another car question. I'm doing good.
What types of things do you put in a radiator?
Radiator fluid.
Is that all that you put in radiator?
Yes, radiator fluid.
Is
You
that all?
shouldn't put other things in a radiator. And I think everyone knows that. Have you ever gotten into a car wreck before?
Yes.
Have you ever caused a car wreck before?
Yes.
What's the craziest car wreck you've ever been in?
When I think I was 16, I had gotten my permit like when I was 15 and a half. And then I was with a friend and we drove to North Carolina. And I can't remember if it was on the way there or on the way back. I got a speeding ticket. And when I got home, my dad was like, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it." And he never did. And so my license got suspended, my permit. So I had a suspended permit. And then it took a long time to get that back, sort of. But I was driving while I had a suspended permit, and I had a late night the night before, and I fell asleep going down the highway. And when I fell asleep, I pushed down on the pedal and was going faster and ran into the truck in front of me. And my front bumper got stuck on their rear bumper.
That is terrifying.
And then while we were talking on the side of the road, a highway patrol passed us. And of course was like, "Oh, let me see your license and registration." And at the time I was driving my mom's car, who she apparently did not have insurance and also had an expired tag. So the car got impounded and I got taken to the police department.
Leading up to the permit part, I was like, do you remember the question that I asked you? Because I don't feel like this is going anywhere.
If I was ever in a wreck.
Right. But like, there was so much before it that wasn't about the wreck that I was like, did he think I asked him if he'd ever gotten a ticket?
Yeah, no. But that was the wreck.
Last question. What is your dream car?
Yeah, I don't think I really have a dream car. I like lots of different cars. So I think probably like dream car would be more like plural and like dream cars and just have multiple different vehicles.
If you could, would you rather have like a very like an efficient vehicle where like the gas isn't super high and like it's gonna like last you a long time, or would you rather have like a sports car like Fast and Furious?
I mean, that's why I said like both.
Nope, you got to choose one.
Then I'm going with a sports car.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That is so dumb.
That's not practical.
I know, but why would you like that? No.
You can have the Prius. I'll drive the McLaren.
I'll drive a Prius. Meep, meep. That's a little Prius horn. Meep, meep. Honestly, a car
That'd
that
be
had
appropriate.
a horn. I know a car that had a horn like that. I would love it. Meep, meep. What'd you think of the episode?
What about driving pet peeves?
I mean, you've already said you're driving pet peeves. You hate people on the road. You just wish it was you driving all the time.
What all car accidents were you in?
One time I rear-ended someone on the interstate, and that was pretty bad. Whenever I was younger, we were driving down the road, and it like had snowed. Snowed. It had snowed recently, and there was like black ice, and my mom, like, the car spun around. But
you weren't driving?
No. What was the question you asked me? What all car accidents have you been in? What? Did I not answer the question?
All right. So what do you think about this episode?
I thought it was really good. I think you learned that I know a lot more about cars than you thought I did. And I think we learned, we meaning me and whoever is watching or listening, I think we learned that you know about as much as we thought you did about cars. So
one more question.
Okay.
What all fluids have you put in a radiator? All right. No need to answer that question.
Okay, well, thank you for recording this podcast with me today.
Yep.
If you're watching this video, make sure that you subscribe. And if you're listening to this audio, make sure that you subscribe and follow.
And if you have any car questions, please feel free to reach out to Matt.
You can put them in a comment. You can put them in the little Spotify question things. I will answer any and all car questions.
Or if you need any help working on your car, contact Matt.
I think we should do a reoccurring car episode where we can talk about the latest car news, speeding to you on a podcast soon.